the stream.
Oh.
Copy and paste it in places. Oh yeah, dear, who are you actually going to play today? Because,
I don't know. Who do you want me to play?
I don't know. Who do you want to play?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. Never actually built a character for this. Yeah.
I mean, today is more of a negotiation day. I don't think you'll be doing much in the way of roles.
Okay. What characters are available?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. You're on your ship. So. I'm going to continue to use the announcements on the Discord here because I got given the special role to allow me to. So, hello and welcome to Dark Heresy 2nd Edition, Suicide Cell. Yeah, Season 2, whatever. Act 2, Session 7. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Deadlight. I'm joined by Gray.
Hello.
I am also joined by Harrison for the first time in a million years.
Hi.
I'm joined by Rach. I'm joined by Samuel.
Hello?
I'm joined by Scott.
I'm here too.
And I'm joined by Serene.
Heyo.
So last time, someone apparently died in their microphone. No, last time you finished your investigations on the planets. You were able to recover the second day's data cube from the escape pod. And with that, you also ran into a charter captain. The charter captain was accompanied by a very unusual companion in the form of a Black Shield Space Marine.
He snuck up on me real good.
Mm-hmm. After
Space Marine snuck up on you in power armor.
bearing in
I
mind,
passed my awareness check.
yeah, he was in full black, and you were in a snowy field.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Easier to see him?
Should have probably been easier to see.
Well, it depends. Were you in like a snowstorm or?
Not really. It was snowing, but like.
Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I can't say anything.
Yeah.
I was supposedly guarding the ship or something.
Yeah, you were guarding the shuttle because they didn't trust. They didn't trust the 3 people that were down there and like being suspicious by like going to the shrine in the middle of nowhere, which the party also did. But yes.
You never leave this shuttle unattended.
So yes. After that, you have returned to orbit. I don't think you had anything else you wanted to do on the planet, so you've returned to orbit. You've gone very far away, out of system, and you are met by 2 ships. One is the charter captain's, the other is... Well, it was running on silence up until you got very close, and when it revealed itself to be some sort of warship. And you are requested to board the warship in a small party. Arix is going with you.
Okay. So Eric, I'm guessing Eric's, or whoever's ahead of Eric's, made the call of let's go approach this unknown warship, and now we're gonna go on the ship. Alright.
I mean, you did kind of find out that there was a Space Marine ship, or strike cruiser in the area last session.
Space Marines.
Space Marines, yes.
Would we have gotten any chance to actually learn what data we had gotten from the, I think it was different, recordings or something like that?
The recordings don't have any data per se, but the data cubes did have a bunch of coordinates.
Okay.
You know, interestingly enough, one of the coordinate sets is for Heros. The system the party went to when they first encountered those weird crystals. Another is Agri, which is the system where Season 1 all took place. Laguna, sorry. Wow, my brain switched off. So I assume you all go over to the warship.
Yeah, can I take a plate of food? Like a customary thing? Can I
Sure.
roll for that?
You can make a trade cook roll if you wish. Question mark.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a nice plate of food.
Customary. I don't want them to think I'm a savage.
So you go onto the other ship. This is very different. So you leave the Fortune's Promised, a very well gilded art ceilings. Everything's plastered in gold and looks awfully tacky. And you go onto the warship. The warship is completely different. It is completely spotless, but completely utilitarian.
I like it.
Even the workers, they all wear simple robes and do not pay you the slightest bit of attention. When you arrive, you are met by two people. One is the charter captain, you recognise, this female here. The other is the space marine you saw before.
I offer some of the food.
She looks at you confused.
I'm gonna kind of be on Eric's side. I'm gonna say, are you sure it was a good idea to bring the alien and the mutant to a negotiation?
Well, depends.
Arix kind of glances at you and goes, "Why not?" They've already met. It's not like I'm suddenly bringing, them out of nowhere.
Sometimes negative biases can hinder negotiations, especially when we are on unfamiliar ground. And I'm gonna kind of look around the ship a little bit, a little nervously.
She stops and thinks and goes, "Right, didn't you point a gun at one of them?"
Oof.
Well, I didn't know it was him. It was one of those things where I didn't know the situation. My life could have been in danger. I spin around. It is Space Marine. I realize Flamer does nothing to Space Marine.
Yes. Well, I would say that's probably more of a negative connotation.
Well, if you say so. Sometimes the Space Marines don't like aliens, though.
I'm pretty sure Space Marines don't like people pointing guns at them.
Yeah.
I mean, humans don't like people pointing pellet guns at them, but it's not really going to do much damage.
Anyway, the charter captain sort of gives a slight bow and says, "Please follow me. We're not soldiers."
Rachel is checking for warpy shit.
You notice there is, there indeed a strong psychic power, but it's dormant. It's certainly not something you're used to. It also smells imperial, for reference. Yep. The Space Marine and the Charter Captain lead you through the ship. It is, again, utilitarian but spotless, and you are led to a large meeting hall. There is a long table in the middle with two chairs. The Charter Captain wouldn't. The Space Marine gestures to one of the heads of the, one end, the head, where Arix walks over and sits. There is sort of like a semicircle arena where you see there are 4 other Space Marines sitting. One of which appears to be a tech priest with multiple silver arms. One is actually not in armor at all and is in simple robes, but you can tell he's a Space Marine because he's 8 foot tall and built like a brick wall.
This is where we find out that one's actually just an Ogren.
No, Ogrins aren't built like that. The other two seem to be just traditional Space Marines, like the other, like the first one you've met.
Could I examine the, like, not like walk up and, feel them out, but examine the tech marine and see what kind of things we're dealing with?
Sure, you can. You're free to. I mean, they're not going to stop you from walking up.
I don't want to walk up.
Okay, that's fine.
On the boobs, Sam. Honk 'em on the boobs.
I'm still avoiding Mechanica stuff, if possible, but at the same time, I'm intensely curious.
That's fine. The 4 Space Marines are sitting behind the empty chair, for reference. I'll get rid of this amazing hill drawing. So here's the table. And there's sort of like 2 halves. The Space Marines are sitting over here. And Eric's is this... Eric shall be this orange dot sitting here. Actually, no, wait. One of them would sit over here. Just thinking about it, he would sit over here. The Tech Priest is sitting next to the unrobed man, the robed person. Yeah, you can make any sort of test you like. As sort of they let you muller in. Dio, who are you playing? If you wish.
I think I'll go with the character I never actually properly finished. That I've just been finishing right now.
What, your Gunslinger Tech Priest?
Yeah.
That's fine. It honestly makes sense for Arix to surround herself with a million Tech Priests.
Cool.
Awareness was to check for anything unusual or possibly threatening to the party.
Awareness.
And,
I should probably be
I
trained.
mean, aside from the fact that these are Space
That
Marines...
there are Space Marines, yes, but anything not that obviously.
Yeah, sure. No, anyone else want to make any tests?
One thing, would they have stopped us from bringing weapons? Because, just curious.
Not really. Eric, you note that Arix is carrying a hotshot lasgun on her back, and she has some sort of wrist-mounted weapon as well as a power sword. But it seems more ceremonial, if that makes sense. You note that some of the Space Marines are carrying weapons as well.
I was just curious because I know it's not going to do anything. I just wanted to know if it was like, can we bring this, or are we going to get shot if we do?
No, they don't seem to care.
Alright.
You get the feeling that one of these people could probably take the entire party on and not take any damage, and there's now 5 of them in this room.
I was just wondering to see if we had something, just in case.
Ooh, that probably should let me just adjust my name.
Colonel Jackram.
Holy shit, Dio has a 55% chance for an awareness?
What are you looking for
Who
in
are
particular?
Name has been saved. Tech Priest.
You're looking at the Tech Priest? You note that first off that he's got a servo harness, so he has a lot more mechadendrites than a normal person. You also note that a lot of his modifications are not standard. They appear to be either completely custom or possibly even Xeno in nature.
Interesting. Although I do have a question. Isn't the normal amount of mechadendrites 0? So having any number would be more than a normal person.
For a Tech Priest.
Okay, cool.
When I say a normal number, I'm normally assuming off a Tech Priest.
Okay.
Anyone else want to make any other tests?
Alright, sorry.
You're free to make lore tests as well, or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to make a test to see what mechadendrites he has, or if a test is even needed, that is.
a detail I hadn't thought out. He's got two manipulators, a utility, some sort of high-powered plasma cutter, which seems to be based off xenotechnology. One you suspect is some sort of gun, but you can't tell, and a medical.
So he
At
has
least
5.
what you can see.
So he has 5 visible ones on here.
Yes.
Okay. I'd actually like to walk up to him and ask him about the plasma cutter that's based on xenotech. Like, what the hell's up with that?
He glances at you and goes, "It's required for my work."
What kind of work would require a xenoplasma cutter versus a regular plasma cutter? That's unusual.
The sort of work where you require a more powerful plasma cutter than the standard Imperial one.
Oh, so that means you're dealing with cutting materials that would... I get it now. I understand. If you're dealing with some unknown xeno thing, it may be too difficult for a regular Imperial.
He nods. That would be the simple way to put it.
A bigger knife for tougher hides.
Your mutant seems to have the right comment. The right trail of thought.
Yeah.
You note that the grunted guy, the road guy, just grunts. Just
We're gonna get at him.
It's not like sort of annoyed. It's just typical. Like he's like irritated, sort of.
I'm just gonna awareness the charter captain and see if she's got anything.
Sure.
Because I have a feeling we're gonna deal with her mostly, so we might want to.
She hasn't sat down. She's kind of hovered around the chair, but she certainly hasn't made a move to sit on it. Yeah, you get the feeling that while she acts in control, she probably isn't. It's kind of like how Arix has people to do stuff for her because she stands up like a sore thumb.
Nah, she's the puppet.
You note there is, as sort of you guys are coming in and wandering in, 2 other figures enter. One is an arbiter, and the other is some sort of... what would he be? My brain's completely switched off. I like had a thought for this person and it's completely gone. Some sort of like hunter. Big sniper rifle on their back, bush hat, leather clothing, sort of utilitarian sort of build.
Wait, he has a hat like mine?
A bit, yeah.
Fancier.
Fancy hats don't mean shit. It's a hat like mine, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tip my hat to this guy.
He kind of just sizes you up.
I just give him the biggest Xeno smile I can. The one that has the least amount of teeth showing.
He continues to size you up and takes a seat. As does the enforcer. Kind of just like goes and finds a corner to lurk in and lights a glow stick. You can't actually see his face. He's got a visor on, but you can just he sort of like sits in the shadow, and you only know he's there because he's got a glow stick glowing that illuminates just like his face.
His frown.
His frown.
If he's wearing any sort of arbiter helm.
So, anyone else want to do anything?
I'm good.
I'll offer everybody food and then sit down.
Yeah. I'd probably be the only one that accepts the foot of Xita.
One of the Marines actually sort of more out of curiosity takes like a bit of it. Just like
It's damn good food.
he like removes his helmet, sets it on his lap. You can see a very weathered, scarred face as he sets the helmet down carefully on the chair, the empty chair next to him, and just takes a bit. He's very delicate, despite the fact he's wearing like massive armored gauntlets.
I'll just let him have it. Like, take as much as you want. I made it for this negotiations. If I was going to poison it, I doubt it would do anything, and you grew up me in half. So just take as much as you want.
He just takes the one, but he doesn't say anything. Especially since you're a very talky person, he doesn't like you.
I just shrug. And I take my seat.
Mhm.
This is why I bought the expert cook talent.
So yeah, if you have all sat down, the charter captain sort of waits until everyone sits down and says, "So, it seems we are both working for the same, one and the same Inquisitorial Lord. Would you like me to start, or would you prefer to?" Arix doesn't say anything, she just glances over at the party.
See what you have to say.
She nods.
We're all ears.
We were hunting we weren't hunting the relentless retribution per se. We were hunting another ship that came out into this area during the time of the Great Crusade. Well, actually, I should say during the time of the Heresy. Where do I start? She turns to the Space Marine, and she goes, "Perhaps you're better at retailing this tale." The Space Marine nods, and he goes, "Very well." This story starts back during the time of the Great Crusade. When we first made contact with a human empire, a small human empire, now mostly a baron. Diplomacy, the first diplomatic ship ran into contact with them and started to make contact. Negotiations were going well until the entire system, until the multiple planets went dark. The diplomatic ship was at a forward frontier outpost, and so decided to venture in on behalf of the frontier outpost. What they found was that all the cities had been abandoned within the space of months. Everyone had left, there was no sign of anyone being there. There were signs of fighting, but no life. Upon further investigation, recording data pics and other such technology, they were able to piece together that some sort of Xeno invasion had occurred. They proceeded to several other planets, part of the Empire, this small empire, and found the same story. They contacted the Great Crusade requesting Imperial Army or other such forces to respond. None immediately did, stating that it was most likely the Xenos had gone on and they were no longer a threat. That is when they entered the Jaskit system. In the Jaskit system, they found out where all the life had gone, into thousands of the Xeno creatures you have encountered, I believe.
The beasts of Heresy.
Yes. They were never properly classified. The diplomatic ship immediately fled and requested Imperial assistance again. This time it was deemed that it was a high priority threat. The Magos aboard the ships, Magos Sifrix, had been piecing together data and believed that this was a threat to the Imperium at large. What they were doing was some sort of convergence events. If it was allowed to occur, they would be an almost near unstoppable force. All the Imperial forces in the area were mustered, which included 5 different small detachments of 5 different chapters, ranging around to about 1,000 Marines in total, as well as a number of Imperial militia assets at the time. Imperial Army, that's the one. No. Is that the one? No, the detail is irrelevant. They proceeded to the planets. The Space Marines were lucky enough to strike hard and strike true at the planet's core, and were able to kill the convergence sites, primary sites, which caused a chain reaction which eventually killed most of the others. clean-up operations were commenced, and a research base was set there. Major Sifrix, who has been leading the investigation up until that point, was given charge of the research space, and things went quiet. He continued his studies, and then unfortunately the Horus Heresy happened. It was unfortunate, but with so much going on during the Horus Heresy, the system of Jarix was just forgotten. It was deemed a quarantine world beforehand, and because no one knew there was a research station there, after the Horus Heresy, it was just left as a quarantine world to be forgotten. However, some members of the arch enemy had managed to get their hands on Sifrix's information, and most likely during the Horus Heresy, possibly posing as loyalists at the time. And they had gone out to investigate the Relentless Retribution. Recently, it was believed that the ship had been lost. However, recently, it was believed that there was evidence of that ship reappearing. Because this ship is from the Horus Heresy and contains traitors from that era, it was a high-priority target, and such a task force was assembled, consisting of myself and my battle brothers, he gestures to the other Space Marines in the room, as well as being working in partnership with a throne agent, which he gestures to the charter captain. The reason for this second ship going after the Relentless Retribution is because it is a Dark Age of technology ship. The thing that makes it most unique and interesting is that its warp engine is able to do a precise jump. And when I say a precise jump, I mean it can jump inside a gravitational well. It could jump past a blockade of a system, and no one would be able to stop it.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It is also a unique ship. There is, as far as I'm aware, no other recorded examples of such technology.
Sounds like a rogue trader's wet dream. A ship that can bypass any blockade at a moment's notice.
This is why it was in the hands of the Space Marines.
They do not
Come
give
on now.
Seneschal any new ideas.
Come on now. If they had anything more than... Man, don't give the rogue traders anything more. I already got to deal with Julian.
Yeah, the ship was used on multiple occasions to bypass planetary defences and launch strike teams into such planetary defences, without them even realising a ship had jumped there until the last moment. Do not ask me how it works. I believe our tech priest, my brother tech marine over there, knows some more details, but it is all mumbo jumbo to me. We were investigating this second ship, and because no major leads, we just knew it had been re-sighted, we decided to investigate here. Any questions?
Seems straightforward enough.
Yeah. So, assuming how you were so after the information we had gathered, we can assume you don't have anything from the planet. You didn't find any other escape pods or anything from the Retribution, that is.
We'd only just begun conducting our own investigations. I take it you were able to get a hold of information from the escape pods?
I'm not the techie, so I can't say
Gonna
yes or no
look
on
to
that one.
Eric's on this one.
She nods and goes, "It is fine to disclose information here."
Yeah.
Did I give Eric's the actual data cores, or did I keep those? I forget if I gave them to her or not.
I can't remember if you did. I don't think you've actually had a chance to. Because
Talk
last
to-
session,
no,
yeah,
Okay, no, I haven't had. I haven't had a chance to actually give him that over. That's what I thought. Because I would have given the opportunity.
Oh yeah,
but
no, you've had time to. We just haven't had like. Last session we ended up on the planet. I just thought I didn't think that anyone actually had anything to do between then and now.
That's the only thing I would have done is given her the data course. So, but whether she wants to, if she's gonna not share out immediately, then I'll just whip out the yield data slate that has all the information on it, and I'm gonna say, we discovered this transmission, and I've managed. That's one thing I would have done. I think I did say I was going to do that. I was going to recompile the two separate videos into a single video because they were both parts of each other.
Yes, they were both the same set of data.
Mhm.
So if you basically overlap them on top of each other, you could like remove some of the multitude of errors on them.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be hard though. I take it.
Yep. So you played the first. Alex actually does. She pulls out a copy of the like a data set herself, plugs it in, and there's a big screen like by here, which plays the first message, which is of them entering the system, and then it plays the second one. The second one appears to be a rally speech. I haven't actually written it out because I completely forgot about that second recording. But it is a rally speech by a Space Marine captain to the forces down below him. I believe it was 25 Space Marines, 5 of each chapter, as well as a dreadnought, and like 1 or 2 vehicles. But he plays the recording. He does a big like heroic speech, and they seem to be about to assault somewhere. You suspect that it's probably Jaskar or somewhere else, because bearing in mind this was after they actually. Give me a tech use test, Smart. My brain switched off.
Romulus?
Romulus, yes.
I will hit 8 points, I guess.
I mean, I could also potentially attempt to take his tests.
I don't. Yeah, sure. You can give me a tech
What's
use
this
test.
test for?
Yeah, I don't know. It's also out of nowhere taking test.
This would be a tech use test to find out data, like the timestamp and stuff, like the date stamp on it.
Could I try, since I'm used to mingling with black boxes just as a ship person?
Sure.
I doubt I'll pass it, but I'll give it a try. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Rex
for me.
believes this came from the 21st century. Frost, you've had a chance to look over this data as well, I imagine. And you were able to work out why this information was on here, where it seemed everything else had been sort of purposely placed, and this seemed to be old data. This is actually being transmitted to the escape pods after they had been fired on the planet.
Awesome. I will relay this information.
This certainly interests the Space Marines. Unfortunately, there is no locations with that particular set, so it's quite hard to work out where it's from. But it did cause me to burp. They are certainly interested by this such information.
Cool.
Is there anything else you wish to disclose or pass on?
Is there anything else that I know?
Not from that, but I'm just from your investigation in general.
No.
I mean,
not from me.
if they don't already know it, which is most likely that they do, I would tell them about the crystals we found in relation to the Xenobeast.
They do know about that. We did talk to them about that one.
Okay.
Julian showed them the recordings from your first encounter of them.
Okay. I didn't know you did already. I wasn't
Okay,
there.
that's fine. No, that's fair enough. Do you want to ask about them? Because they seem to know more about them than you guys.
If they want to share that information, yes.
The Space
I
Marine
would
again.
like to know what we are hunting.
They were never properly classified, however, we have got some information on them thanks to the Magus' work. He was actually quite ahead of his field at the time. During the time of the Great Crusade, we were unaware of things like warp beasts. The Magus theorized, however, that there could be pockets of the warp where certain entities could live in a sort of long-term stasis. Which is why these creatures can seem to invade from anywhere. He also managed to come up with a 5 or 6 stage, I can't remember the number of stages now. But anyway, the first stage of the invasion is to be discovered. During this time, they will, if the crystals are in contact with a certain individual for an extended period of time, one of the beasts will possess the human or other sentient being and use it as a host to try and acquire more of it, as well as trying to spread it. Stage 2 is Awakening. In the Awakening, they send out large wave sonic noise, which incapacitates or kills or drives mad most of the population in a limited area. I believe in your encounter it was a mine. During this time as well, those that have been possessed will be unaffected. They are puppets. These puppets will drag bodies around to create cocoons and put the crystals in, which will spawn creatures. This then leads to stage 3. Once these first workers are awakened and hatched, they will start to prowl around and prepare a nest site, gathering more bodies, more crystals, to produce a queen. With a queen, they will be able to burrow through the surface and start attacking small population centres, underhives, other mines, smaller settlements, that sort of thing.
I believe that was the state in which we found Heresy.
I believe you were in late stage 2, going into stage 3.
There had been a cocoon, a larger cocoon, which we believe to be a queen's.
Stage 3 is officially started by the hatching of the queen. Once the queen is hatched, they start this terror campaign where they acquire as many bodies and additional queens. Stage 4 is void travel. They will gather up all the resources they need and create a void-capable asteroid, bioasteroid I believe is the term, and fire it into space. What is not used in firing the thing is, like, all the creatures will willingly sacrifice themselves to be fired into this void asteroid. This void asteroid is targeted at a particular system, able to jump through the warp. If they haven't already, they will use that to start colonizing other planets, to create a... They need a certain amount of crystal. They can create the crystal out of psychers, or psychic material. So they will often target hive worlds, or worlds with high psychic populations to acquire more crystals or more biomatter, depending on what they need. Eventually, they will acquire enough of both and create a stage 5. A stage 5 is... stage 5 is convergence. They will be firing biomatter and crystals at a planet where they will attempt to crystallize the entire planet. It's usually a small, heavy-cored planet. I believe is what the Magus theorized anyway. If this, during this time, you will be booped by the random player, But during this time, they are quite vulnerable. Yeah, it works, dear.
Is this convergence total planets on a even larger cocoon?
Mm-hmm. Once convergence is done, it will effectively be a planet capable of moving through the void.
That is the scariest fucking thing I've ever heard of.
Such as question mark to the question that's been sent to me. Yes, it is rather scary. This is where stage 6 is. This is why it's considered the doom. Once convergence has occurred, this planetoid is near on unstoppable, and is also dear, I think just suggest what you want and I'll say yes or no.
Sure.
As a way of just, instead of like me having to type what suggest me. But yeah, once the planetoid is near unstoppable and could tear through Imperial system, or any systems, with relative ease, it would take quite a large fleet to destroy one. However, convergence was convergent. During the time of convergence, the planet is quite weak. It's quite vulnerable. Which is how we were able to stop it last time. It was suspected that the Magi suspected that the crystals were not native to the system. They were actually native to here, or even further afield. Hence why the Relentless Retribution was sent out. The possibility of a second convergence happening was too great of a risk to not investigate immediately. The reason why 5 chapters were sent on it was because no one chapter wanted to leave it to the others. And so it was agreed by the captains at the time that a small squad from each group would be sent to investigate. Yes to the Auspex. I'm kind of against the good quality cyber.
They only count as rare, Deadlight.
Are you requesting equipment?
Yeah. Well, I've only got starting equipment at the moment.
Okay.
You haven't really been anywhere to get those.
Okay.
The Auspex is fine.
To be fair, I've only got starting equipment too.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. You guys have access to, like, if you want more equipment, you just have to ask. Bearing in mind you have a void ship, so...
Yeah, it's NPD.
Yeah. So a lot of, like, the common equipment you can get for just like that, because it's already on the ship. Things like pick fees, climbing gear, etc.
Yeah, I think it was last session we had the discussion, like anything that we would have easily get, we could just basically have, like a microbeads, grapnels, etc.
Yeah. Because, it makes sense that you guys have them. If you want, like, specialist gear, you're going to have to go somewhere where they produce that sort of thing. Such as a Forge World or, whatever.
Yeah.
Or find somebody who carries it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, so the Relentless Retribution was dispatched. Sure. And yes, that is, as far as I know, all the information we know. The Majos Sifrix also made a machine that could detect the crystals. Unfortunately, according to these recordings, it seems that it was not as accurate as hoped. It might be put off by large psychic populations, or the sheer unusualness of the Inderfell region, the Inderfell expanse for warp anomalies. Things like the Ghost Fingers, the Void Reefs, and Fractorum are examples that I can think of to hand. Is there any questions on those?
Don't think so. Seems straightforward enough.
Do you still know how to make such equipment that one of our techies could take the blueprints or whatever and just craft it in case we need it?
He shakes his head. Unfortunately, I do not. The original schematics were on the station over at Giscard, and unfortunately that station has since crashed into the planet and most of the information has been destroyed. If there was such schematics for it, it would be on the Relentless Retribution. I believe they had a copy of all Imagis's data up until that point, as well as all of his fieldwork and findings.
Ain't that just a shame? Well,
Yeah.
we did find an escape pod. Couldn't get much shit out of it other than what you've already seen, but you guys might know more about it.
The information is certainly interesting, although unfortunately doesn't point us in the direction of our targets.
Thought I'd let you know to see if you might be able to get anything other than the data core. I didn't know its type of tech.
There is one question, however. Why are you here, per se? The Relentless Retribution isn't a typical inquisitorial investigation, as far as I'm aware.
I look over at
Back
Eric.
to Eric's again.
Eric's like sighs is like, look, guys, you can talk to them. They are fine to talk to. Jeez.
No, I was looking at you, boss, because you would be able to give him more insight than one of us grunts.
And that's when we force Deadlight to roleplay against himself.
Yes, I'm trying to avoid this. Also, Arix is incredibly lazy and so doesn't want to do as much work as possible.
The main reason why I'm having Eric do is because I'm not 100% sure myself.
You are investigating the Unseen Hands, a criminal a large-scale operation, which seems to be doing very unusual things. On the Agura, which is the act of the first campaign, they were able to get hold of rare plasma tech, as well as having a discordance to hand. They were also able to get their hands on Tau technology, which was infused with Imperial technology, not an easy feat, as well as having seemingly limitless resources. Since then, you have found out they have scattered themselves to many of the systems in the Infernal Expanse, and seem to be trying multitude of things. One of those things was to investigate the Relentless Retribution. However, they seem to be running into a second force here that was delaying them. They were unsure who they were.
Right, and we thought they were looking for the Relentless Retribution for some reason. We wanted to get there first, or something like that. Okay. I'll look back around and was like, fine, if you insist that we do it for you. Oh, lazy leader. The main reason from what I could gather is just a simple grunt, is some group we've been chasing after that the past squad tracked down and dealt with mostly had some weird tech with the Tau fused with Imperial stuff, something about a discordant, some machine disruptor or something, whatever a fucking discordant is. Apparently they were in this area, or maybe looking for the Relentless Retribution. I'm not 100% sure on the details myself, but as far as I could collect that's important is we're just looking for it before they can find it. In case they do find it and it has some crazy stuff, we don't want it in their hands. We want to find it so they can't turn the ancient technology against anybody who doesn't want to be brought into this stuff.
The Marine nods. That sounds much more normal Imperial line, inquisitorial line of investigation.
Know anything about the group that we could use for our investigation? Our leads seem to be running drier.
Or all the leads you haven't investigated. Like these 6 leads which you haven't like even looked at.
It help. I'll roll to see for it, but it's to make them feel like they need to help us more.
It'll either make them help us more, or make them think we're completely useless at our job.
You
Not
don't
sure
know
which
that.
one's better.
We don't know that. They can make whatever assumptions they want.
So yeah, make those anyways. So
This is true.
I mean, there are a list of planets. There are a list of systems or planets that you managed to recover from the from the data cubes. And
Is it the bottom 6 ones that are the references that we haven't checked out yet? Because it seems like the top stuff I think we've done most of the top stuff.
you haven't done anything with Coal Traders, and you haven't done the infiltration mission with Tranquility Station.
yeah.
Alright.
I should
We've
probably
done-
let me go edit and put like a big.
Yeah, maybe like a star or asterisk or something like that next to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would also like to ask the charter captain if she has anything, if she knows anything about this Order of the Blazing Sun we've encountered on the planet. Because they were also interested in those escape pods.
She nods and smiles and goes, "Yes, I'd been." When we originally arrived, they were a fast-growing cult. I have been in secret with a few of my agents, running interference, tipping off the enforcers, having a strike team or two remove bases that we have located. Not the main public chapel, but like other little places, if that makes sense.
They were gonna bomb the church at one point. Did you know about that?
She shakes her head. No, I was unaware of such a thing.
Yeah, that's why that random hab block exploded. Because we had to divert the bomb somewhere. It was the only place I could get it to in a few minutes. I'm fast, but I'm not fast enough to run outside of town in a few minutes.
I mean, there are other places you could have thrown it, like down the sewers.
Oh,
in the
and
middle of nowhere.
don't forget that that's a total lie, because he tried to bomb the rogue trader's house.
I don't
Hey,
think we know
she
that.
has no way of knowing that.
She looks at you like, I'm sure there are other places, like, I don't know, the plaza in front of the chapel.
I wasn't thinking. A bomb was put into my hands and I was told to just run. I was like, okay, so I just ran. I didn't stop and think maybe I should put this explosive thing in the sewer beneath the city or town. I didn't think about that. I was like, throw it somewhere, and as far as I can see, that hab block had nobody in it. I feel bad for the people that might have been hurt in it, but what can you do?
He panicked.
Yeah.
14 people were killed.
Do you mean 40
14.
civilian? 14. So 14 Imperial unknown Imperial threats were eliminated.
Arix goes, there's a reason why my cell is called Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So
I'm not proud of it, Charter Captain. I'm not, but it had to be put somewhere, and I just wasn't thinking. It's hard to think when this explosive ball is in your hands about to blow your arms off. Or your entire body into pieces.
Well, it sounds like this particular organization is a threat to the Imperium.
Indeed it is. That's why we blew up our own house. We had a feeling they were going to come after us after we took one of their boys. Had a suicide bomb in his... What was it?
by the way, do we have that guy still?
Oh, yeah, he's on your ship.
Okay.
What was it that he had, like, in his body? Was it, like, 2 grenades or something?
Yeah, he literally had 2 frag grenades strapped to his spine.
Wait,
Yeah.
is this cult really a significant threat to the Imperium? I mean, they seem to have ramshackle technology at best. They literally strap 2 frag grenades to the back. Would they actually be a threat on any other planet, or even to this population?
The
If
issue
they
is
can acquire frag grenades and stuff to make remote controlled detonators on such a shitty world like this, imagine what they could do in a world with actual supplies.
the issue is not what they're using specifically. The issue is the skill they're doing it with. When I removed those 2 frag grenades, it was done with the skill of a tech priest. It was so if they were able to get better supplies, they could be a threat, a significant threat. Imagine a fully trained tech priest who is willing to destroy whatever he needs to destroy.
Yeah, just imagine.
Eric's goes, no, I think she's implying that the reason why we came here, a cell being here from the unseen hand that was investigating, the relentless retribution, is using the cover of the Order of the Burning Sun.
Yeah.
The entire reason we're here, to eliminate the cell. One of the other Space Marines, the
Space Marines.
Yep.
Space.
Goes. Perhaps we could be of service. We'll need our tech priest requires some time to process all this information before we decide our next move, as well as pass on to our commander. During that time, I'm sure we wouldn't mind stretching our legs a little.
Oh. You have a feeling you're asking if you can go take out the Burning Sun or something.
It would be a fun, enthusiastic walk.
Surprised you even want to put it as a walk. Thought it'd be a brisk stroll.
Oh no, I doubt they could do. God damn it! Did you at least get that reference?
What did you say?
They want to take an enthusiastic walk.
Yes, yes, I did.
Oh, it's a Helsing Ultimate reference. Helsing Abridged reference.
Don't
sorry.
explain it, Deadlight.
Yeah, loses its charm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no one got the reference.
One of my favourite
I
quotes is a joke is
haven't
much like a
watched-
frog. If you dissect it, you'll know a lot more about the joke, but it'll definitely be dead.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
It kind of lost its charm because Serene just made some ridiculous comments. It's
I
like,
didn't get it,
wouldn't it be
sounds
a
like-
stroll?
I didn't get it. I don't watch Hellsinger Bridge because I just don't give a shit.
Awesome.
Oh, look at you.
I don't do
awesome on
anime much,
YouTube.
even the abridged stuff.
It's awesome on YouTube, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
But he just sighs.
I mean, that's not my call to make.
No, it is not. You overly talkative lizard.
Hey, for once I'm in the neighborhood of a bunch of humans who aren't calling me a filthy mutant like that boy over there. I'll like gesture.
No,
over
you're
to Julian.
Filthy mutant!
There we go.
No, he's a filthy Xeno, thank you.
Yeah.
Get your
Um,
terminology right.
It could be a Xenos mutant.
How would you be able to tell?
Exactly.
He has a point.
I'd like to, kind of shrug my shoulders at Eric's as the Space Marine makes this comment about the filthy Xeno.
All that matters is we are all working together for the same cause. Or very similar causes.
Yes.
I don't think the Xeno is the issue. I think the personality of the Xeno is the issue.
Well.
But one of the battle riders is like, we will deal with this Order of Burning Sun. It'll be nice to get off the ship for a small period of time. Even if it is only for a walk.
Perhaps not using completely overwhelming explosive, and I'll say explosive as I look at their bolt guns, force, so that perhaps evidence can be found after.
If you are actually looking at their weapons, well, you have you know the one has the bolt gun and power sword. One of them actually has a very large shield. A massive shield, able to protect it.
Figure out can I try and figure out if it's special using my Scholastic Law Adeptus Astartes?
You have that?
I do.
Give me a roll on that then.
I did not know that Adeptus Astartes had scholastic lores on them.
I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't aware they had.
That should be
They don't actually.
forbidden.
No, Adeptus Astartes does not have forbidden law. They are scholastic because the information, while it's not like forbidden, it's just hard to learn. Whereas the forbidden law would be Chaos Space Marines.
I believe
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
right.
Okay. I know what you're saying. He would know things like different chapters.
My.
No, he doesn't. Okay.
That is. Where do you get that random plus 30 from? It's not.
Memorance implants.
Okay, yes. Why do I even ask? Yeah, choose
calculus
longer as
logi,
usual.
memorance. Look, this is my law monkey character, alright?
Yes.
Every
Yeah.
character Dio makes is a cheese in some way.
Yeah. No. Like Forbidden Law would actually be knowing bits and pieces about like how to make Space Marines and stuff, whereas Scholastic Law would be actually knowing different chapters and stuff.
Oh, I also have forbidden law Adeptus Astartes, though.
Do you want to roll on that?
Sure.
Because you haven't had a chance. Like you haven't had a chance to roll any laws and stuff.
Where?
Made that one?
Where are your Space Marines?
Where for us
You're
is
pretty sure these are
Space
all just corrections.
No, I'm going to fade that one because my luck is as it usually is in Suicide Cell. It's nice to see that hasn't changed. Okay, that one is 8 degrees of success.
Yeah, it's just your tech priests. I remember sixes.
Marines. Yes.
Oh, don't
Every
worry, I got cursed with that
single-
with my tech priest.
Time you got hacked.
Yeah.
Every
Don't
time
worry.
in that manner. Every time.
It was only like it was
And you
cumulatively like a
never
4% chance or
Use the
something.
proxy.
But yeah,
I like to roll Tactica Imperialis to kind of just give like a brief, because I did kind of scout out their complex a bit. I'm aware of like their vehicles and stuff like that. So I just want to kind of roll a Tactica Imperialis to give kind of like okay, this is like a good, like, quick kind of breaching plan or battle plan so that you can both, destroy the enemy, but also not literally blow everything up.
like you do that, and the Space Marine kind of just chuckles. It's like, why would I bother doing that when I could just jump through the wall and kill them all with Power Claw?
The evidence thing is the most important. Also, they do explode on death, but I'm sure your armor will be fine with that.
I would believe no one would dare to interfere with the Adeptus Astartes when they are on a hunt.
Yeah, he could go in there and kill them all with his bare hands. I don't even think he needs all the fingers on his hands.
I thought you only had one bare hand, claws on it.
He has one set of lightning claws, and the other one is a mouse pistol.
I'm sorry, I was making a terrible bare hand / bare hands.
Yes.
Never mind.
So yeah, first off, all these Space Marines are Black Shields. Black Shields are Space Marines who have sworn against their Legion and are independent. They have no Legion.
Like unicorns.
Shut up.
No, I mean they're very rare.
Yeah. No, they're a bit rare. A lot of them end up in the service of the Inquisition or things like the Death Watch. All of their gear is custom, and a lot of it contains heretical modifications. So obviously by the Tech Priests you saw before. One's got like a very early era boarding shield.
Cool.
And he's got very high. They're not. It's like yelling heresy at like your own cell.
I don't know of any heretics in this cell. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, it's not heresy.
You-
Heresy.
you-
It's
You're Xeno. What would you know about Imperial Heresy?
This is not
Exactly.
regular heresy. This is advanced heresy.
Exactly. This is heresy you speak of. I don't see any of it.
yeah. Okay. So that when you say they're not heretics in the sense of like worshipping chaos and stuff, they just don't conform to the Adeptus Mechanicus or like those sorts of organizations.
Separatists more than anything else, not
Yeah. But they're still useful to the Imperium,
still
especially.
heretic. Heretic
Yeah.
could work, but yeah, separatists more than cultists.
Yeah, separatists is probably a better way to describe them. They still believe in the Emperor. They swear allegiance only to him. You imagine that their tech priest, their tech marine, does all their maintenance of equipment, which is why it's all custom and all unique. You can't tell the marks of their armor. One of them appears to be wearing Mark III armor.
Okay.
The one with the actual massive boarding shield. The one with the lightning claw and the plasma pistol, you suspect actually has a jump pack. On the way, his armor is designed to house it much easier than normal marines. That's him. There's the tech marine, which I've already discussed. The one which snuck up and has been talking the most appears to be some sort of scout. You suspect he's probably got some sort of low-level stealth failed generators on him.
Cool.
He also moves silently, you note. Unlike the others, which seem to like...
Clunk.
You know, there's a bit of clunking when the others move, but that one seems to be running on like permanent stunners with stealth failed generators sort of thing. Although when he speaks normally, so... Definitely something odd there. And the last one, is... My brain switched off. I did have information on him, and I've forgotten it.
Is he the heavy weapons guy?
Yes.
Knew it.
Are you sure? You don't sound very sure.
No, they didn't really have like a heavy weapons person. Because something else they have. But
I mean, they are space marines. All their weapons are pretty heavy.
He's actually just carrying around a tank gun.
the last one seems to be lightly armored. Not lightly armored. Oh wait, the last one you wouldn't be able to tell because he's in a robe.
But when you say stealth field generator, are we talking like Imperial stealth field generators or Xeno stealth field generators?
You have no idea.
Probably a bit of both.
You would have to disassemble his boots.
Could I try
If-
and tell? I have forbidden lore tech and archaeotech.
You can give me a roll.
Yeah, I mean, he'd probably be able to see it on his belts, since I think that's normally where they are.
Yeah, all I'm curious if this is Imperial technology or not.
Do the Imperials even have stealth field generators?
That's
We
what
did.
they do, but they're like, yeah.
I mean, one of them is on a super heavy, but the way that works is by sending it into the warp.
That. Look, guys, we're stealth. We're
Oh,
hiding
no,
in
no,
hell.
guys, they're actually Tau battle suits, that's what's going on here. They're like ghost keels.
You suspect it. You're not sure, but you're pretty sure it's erring on the side of stolen Tau not Tau technology, but the stolen Xeno technology.
Probably Elder then. Not that I would know that.
Yeah, like
Okay.
looking at them, yeah, their gear is customized in certain ways. Certainly non-conformist ways to the Imperium. There's evidence of xenotechnology on their gear to make it more potent. A good example is the Tech Marine, which, even while you hate the Adeptus Mechanicus, it's pretty strange to see them with, you know, xenotech. Like, just blatantly on one of their server arms.
I don't hate the Mechanicus, I fear the Mechanicus.
Oh, fear the Mechanicus. But, like, you know, it's very unusual to see them blatantly have xenotech about them. So. Sorry, where was this going?
Don't remember.
Oh yeah, you were like
you were
suggest.
describing the strike force or something, yeah.
Yeah, you were describing the strike force, and they were like, no, like that you were like doing the really like, I'm going to be a child and describe tactical information to a space marine.
Well, I pick things up and put them down with my fist.
They go. We will try and salvage what we can, but if they're suicide bombs, we cannot guarantee anything.
I've nod to that.
We don't miss, so that is not an issue for us.
Lies.
I don't
Would
think
you like to say that? Would you like to say that to a space marine?
You're an heretic.
No, you.
Actually,
with
bring
a
up one more
chainsaw.
thing.
What?
Well, I'll say. So there is one other thing that perhaps you might be able to help us with. If the unique or rare treasures that we can use, we seem to have a potential deal with the pirate prince Darkus, who is willing to deny supplies to our enemies if we are to give him that are worth his while. That being said, we have a few heist plans, but easier ways that we could perhaps do this that you know of that may be of some help to us.
When you say the pirate prince Dracius, you note that the space marine in robes spits.
Oh.
Force starts hissing slightly.
You had dealings with this man before?
Unfortunate dealings, yes. I would happily go and personally rip out his all his bones individually, and then stuff them back in backwards.
That's
All
creative.
while he is alive.
That's
What
also
what has he done to earn your ire like this?
I'd rather not discuss it. He seems to get quite irritated.
I'll look to Eric's now, and I'll say, is this a type of person that perhaps would be better gone than simply do the wrong thing?
It is possible that this is the sort of person that is better gone, yes.
Well, then perhaps we can help each other and get rid of this person. We have a pretend treasure we bring, and perhaps we line them up for you to knock them down.
Or we could set up a traitor in their midst, someone who could take their place. I mean, he's a pirate, right?
Much about the dealing with this pirate. Would we actually see him in person to make the trade, or would he just take the
Yes.
stuff?
Yeah, you would see him in person. You've actually the party has met him, which is how they managed to make this deal. He was on the planet's Arcturus, thank you. And you met him briefly there. Yes, also where you picked up Serene.
Okay. Then Ren will continue and he says, it is possible that we may be able to fulfill your wish. And I'll kind of, be talking to the guy who spit that clearly doesn't like this guy. We've met him in person before. I think you would just need to be close enough, I would assume.
He's like... He actually goes to say something, but the space marine who's been talking, the one with the starfield generator, goes, unfortunately, Darius is not our business. If we get an opportunity, we will happily take him out. However, we have our own priorities and mission. We cannot sidestep for personal vendettas. He glances over at the Space Marine. The other Space
Well-
Marine. One that spits.
Maybe if we can capture him and just put someone up in his midst, maybe we could deliver him to you for your own little squabble.
The Space Marine who spits, I really should give names to. But I'm rubbish at coming up with names, especially for Marines. Is
He's a name
Tiberius.
generator.
Tiberius.
type. No.
I don't know. It's the first thing that came to my mind.
The one that spit, though, is like, yes. I'd be most happy to have that traitor in my hands. Although, simply him dead would be enough to make me happy. I'd love to see him suffer, but...
I'll keep it noted.
Perhaps you're not the worst, then, Zeno.
Perhaps you're not literally the worst.
Well, there are things worse than me.
Bing,
I
bang,
can't-
boom. There you go. Deadlight.
Oh, I know, I look at these and I'm like...
Yeah, they are awful.
Literally, what I do is I'll just sit there, I'll look at it, and the first thing that pops in my head is usually what I just say. And it normally works.
So, Varios is the stealth field generator.
Scipio.
Stop it.
Scipio! Oh my gosh, that's the best name, and I'm pretty sure that's from, like, Space Hulk. That's like the Blood
It's-
Angel Space Hulk game. Brother Scipio!
I mean, I'm just putting down the names of Roman generals.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah,
but-
Scipio
but-
Africanus or something like that.
Yeah. Well, there were
also-
two, because there was Scipio
I mean-
Africanus and then also his father, Scipio something, I forget.
I mean, most of the Space Marines are named after Roman notables, anyways.
Well, no, well, it
Julius.
depends on what legion they're from. Different legions have different naming schemes because they're based on different cultures.
That's true, yeah.
I think the Roman names are
Ultramarine.
Yes, they're
Because
ultra smurfs
Ultramarine
and therefore
is
the
space
least
cat.
important.
Yeah, and
Prevalent at the same time.
Space Corgis have Norse naming scheme, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems right.
They do have a Norse theme about them.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's stop this deal.
Yes.
But also these are black shields, and therefore it would be doubtful to keep their original names because they've sacrificed their
Everything.
chapters as well. So their original name, it was given to them by their chapter.
Okay.
They might
So-
keep it as just a mockery. We don't know these guys.
It's hard to say. I would think not. As black shields, I don't believe they would keep their original names.
Yeah, but
Marcus Turbo. Why does that sound like the
yeah,
leader?
no, that's perfectly fine.
That sounds like a leader of like an
But this,
80s
yeah,
Game
sounds
or
more like a racer in a anime or something.
Yeah. Who are you? I am Marcus Turbo.
Yeah.
So Varios will be the stealth field generator, the sort of scout. Hector will be the road one. If people can think of appropriate names for the others,
It's the one that hates the guy we were talking about.
Spidius Maximus.
no, that's Hector.
Brother Salivos.
Moving on.
Come on, Spidius Maximus. That's a good one.
Ooh, I like that one. Razor.
Shield
We'll
guys
go with
block
Raziel
it
then.
flawless. No, I'm just waiting for someone to start saying fucking Harry Potter spells as names for these guys.
Avada Kedavra!
Wingardium Leviosa.
It's terrible, but yes, I could totally see that.
Can we name one of them Harry?
So there's still a Tech Marine.
I think the Tech Marine just goes by the name Raziel.
Yeah.
our new friend that we're trying to kill the captain for, and hopefully get like peer or something with him for fulfilling his vendetta and getting it on camera like murder porn.
By peer, you mean enemy, right?
No. We
No.
want, why would we want enemy? We want peer with the Space Marine by
No, we
giving
want
him the murder porn video of us killing this captain.
No, we don't kill him. We just break his legs with the shock baton and hand him over.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we can. I guess if we could.
Hey, if you want to be in his good graces, that's how you do it.
That he'd accept the murder porn.
He'd probably accept the video of us breaking his legs too before we hand him over to him.
This is a very odd conversation. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there is only 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, sure, if you want to discuss the fetishes of Space Marines, but
To be
I
fair,
have nothing to add.
to be fair, they just take a wall and just morph it into a human form.
Peer is one influence peer.
So, any other things you wish to discuss with these guys?
I'm just surprised the charter captain hasn't said anything, so I'm just gonna kind of like look her up and down, like,
She has
Okay.
talked from time to time, but like it's very clear that she isn't really like. She's here because like the Inquisition wants to know what's
Face.
happening, not yeah, like be a face as opposed to like actually here for the investigation. If that makes sense. This is very clearly a Space Marine investigation, and she's the social face that the Marines need to go to planets where there's dropping a Space Marine is
I'm actually gonna look at her as like, so your role seems to be purely chaperone.
She nods. Yes. It helps to have a human face to interact with people.
Yeah, I'm actually curious what your rank is, but that's your own business.
I am technically a throne agent. However, in this situation, I am working in conjunction with these black shirts.
I'm surprised they didn't just send a grunt who knows how to talk. Because I'd personally love to trade you for Julian. I gotta get
It
my
was
shots in while I
second
can.
on Greg.
She chuckles and is like, "Yes, I'm sure you would rather. I'm sure you'd rather trade a dead mosquito for Julian. Unfortunately, that's not the case."
Actually, I wouldn't want a dead mosquito. I prefer one of its larvae, so I can at least raise the mosquito to bite the people I want it to. It'd then be useful.
You are a very weird person,
I get that
even
a
for
lot.
Xeno standards.
Regardless, before we got off onto Dracus, I think someone may have been about to say something about any other leads we might be able to have for rare, expensive treasure.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Here's shoulder-mounted psi cannon. What?
What is this?
I mean,
What is this garbage you're talking about?
wah, wah. The jabs, all the jabs. She goes, well, perhaps if you were able to convince the tech priests at Tranquility Station, you may be able to get something from there. I'm aware that they send down teams to Fragmentum to recover unusual unusual technology, both in warp and age unusual weaponry.
To be fair, if we had the time, we could just grab one of the escape pods that we found and just offer it as a decoy. I mean, if that doesn't get someone who's interested in unique treasures, then I don't know what will.
It's also pissed off a lot of people on the planet, though. And well, I guess we could try to get the one that's in the ravine, but that's gonna be an endeavor, say the least.
We only have
Like,
to use it as
this
a
group is
cover.
I mean, the thing is, I think this group is probably going to want to recover it if they possibly can. Space Marines usually like to protect their stuff.
Well, I'm
Yes.
not saying we actually give it to him. We just use it to lure him here. Bring him to us, set up the ambush, take him out.
The captain.
Space
Maybe
Marines
you
get
could-
their thing.
The way this is kind of looking, it looks like we could do possibly 2 leads with 1 stop at Tranquility Station.
Mhm.
Guess so.
So
The other place, just talking as the GM, the other place that has 2 possible leads
Is
Uh,
Idris?
Itris, yeah.
Sergeant Idris?
Which has a possible heist, as well as the unseen hand kidnapping people from there.
Hmm.
So,
Alright, so I guess we'll decide between those places then.
honestly, I'd like to go to Idris. Or Iris.
Iris.
Okay, I guess we can decide after. We can do like a vote or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, there is only 5 Marines, aren't there?
Yep.
Yeah.
From
okay,
what
cool.
you told us.
Yeah.
There's also the weird sniper guy. It's the Arbites who hasn't said anything, but we're just gonna leave them to be silent.
They seem to be here just because, you know, it's a briefing.
Yeah, they're just here for security detail or listening or whatever
Yeah,
their
they're
motive
listening.
is.
They are listening in because they can. They seem to be the charter captains, like the throne agents' acolytes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are Arix's acolytes, they are hers.
Yeah.
Regardless, you know, well, I appreciate the lead. We might be heading there anyways for another operation.
Hmm.
So perhaps we can do 2 with 1 bolter shell.
Guys and fucking guns. I only run around with a hand cannon. And a shock stick.
Perhaps we should keep in contact. If this unseen hand is interested in relentless retribution, it may possibly be that we run into them in other locations.
Of course. Is there any special way we could contact you?
Our astropath will contact your astropath.
Good.
As per usual. Got it.
What, do you think they were going to send messenger pigeons through the flipping void?
I don't. In character, I have no idea about any of the tech that these guys have. So
So what
they
do you
could've
say
pulled some
as
random
usual?
shit. As usual, I know astropaths are a thing. I just didn't know in character they'd have any crazy bullshit because these are people I've never messed with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, about
It may...
And
She-
it will be say that contact us, not the other way around.
the tech priest, the tech marine, sorry, speaks up and goes, it may possibly be that they have one of, they may have been able to recover the schematics of the machine. The machine that was used to track the original crystals.
How would such blueprints turn up on Fragmentum?
They might not have turned up on Fragmentum. They might have. They might have been able to recover it from the crashed research station, which is why they are so prevalent here. If they were mining on Heros, where there was actual crystals, as
Okay,
well
that,
as
that was actually a misunderstanding. I thought the Tranquility Station, not the Unseen Hand.
yeah, sorry, this is the Unseen Hand, as well as turning up on Argora, I believe you said you were investigating before. Argora was the system
Aguna.
you were investigating. Aguna. Yes, both those systems appear on these lists of coordinates. It's perhaps they have managed to acquire this list, or somehow, or possibly recreated the machine, and therefore gotten the same or very similar coordinates, and are now attempting to locate these crystals. It may lead them to do it.
Does not seem that these creatures can be controlled in any way.
Not directly. However, I was under the assumption when the first convergence was destroyed, it was destroyed in such a way that a lot of these spirits were trapped. However, I believe some of them escaped. It may possibly be one of these escaped spirits is mutated somehow. Perhaps they cannot sense their brethren.
And has possessed someone to recreate its race.
There's no telling how powerful such a spirit could be if they're in a body for an extended period of time. it could be that they've mutated the body to an extreme extent. I am unsure. I would have to relook into the archives. I did not pay any attention to such information, as I did not think such an event would occur. Though the Magos seem to cover every possible scenario. Truly, he was ahead of his time. If he was alive today, he would have surely been the Magos of a Forge World, if not higher up.
At least his legacy lives on, kind of. I don't know.
He nods and goes, yes. While the information is redacted to a few limited, it is a treasure trove for those that have to deal with such a thing.
Yes.
If he had not been so extensive in it, we would be a lot more clueless. The tech reinforced silence, unless you want to add anything else.
I think we're done here, or at least I don't think of anything.
They don't know of Nostradamus. You were.
Well, that's nothing I say aloud.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying they wouldn't be aware of Nostradamus or the image you saw of such. You know. So.
I think that's all we're gonna get.
Any other questions you want to pose to them? Or requests?
Can I get a selfie? What?
What's it like being a space marine?
What's it?
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your normal day compared to everybody else? Is it a good day, or is it just like a kind of shitty day? Like, what is it like?
What's your perfect Sunday?
Don't answer that. Not with me being here.
Do you actually ask any of them those two questions?
No.
They ask all of them at once.
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time.
There is. I'm not even dignifying that with a response.
Probably a good choice.
Yeah.
I am going to look at the charter captain. It's like, as a ex-charter captain, current charter, whatever.
She's certainly not a normal. She's more along the lines of a rogue trader.
Yeah. Still look at her. Either way, I pose the question kind of the same, like as a ex-charter captain, current chart, whatever. As someone looking to possibly upgrade their ship, do you have any? Do you have anything where you would tell someone to go?
Now, what are you asking for? A void ship upgrade, or
Just upgrades to a planetary ship. What we use to get around. You saw it. The Xeno-looking one.
Now, if it was a void ship, I would I would have a few places I'd recommend.
You can still recommend them. I mean, we also have a void ship that could be augmented or changed. It's completely useless from what I can tell, and I see no point in it even being void-worthy.
I'm sure I made a flipping void station at one point. Grumble, grumble, grumble. This is the part where the GM forgets what they've written down at one point in the past. Oh, Heresy. Heresy is a port world. It is a major shipping yard where the Imperial Navy bases out. It would be better for a void ship. For your little shuttle, she's more hesitant. Unfortunately, because it's Xeno, she doesn't really know of anywhere. Actually, no, she does. That's a complete lie. I tell a complete lie. She would recommend Fortune's Promise.
Alright. I'll keep it in note, because if that ship's going to be carrying us around, I'd like to at least maybe get it a gun or some type of shielding.
Don't take a plasma pistol to the side. No, plasma pistol and last pistol.
2 of them, thank you. Twin link.
at least.
At least twin linked last pistols.
Yeah. I've tried it before, it doesn't work.
Mm. But taping blast pistols together.
No, putting them on a ship. They're really
Oh.
good for figuring out where you're aiming, but nothing else.
Even that is unlikely.
As pistols don't exactly work like laser pointers.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing I could find a use for.
Wait, they're not laser pointers? They're meant to be a
They-
laser
they-
weapon?
They,
What?
they don't sustain the beam, that's the only problem with them being laser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So they are even shittier than laser pointers.
They're worse than laser pointers, actually.
Don't one of the hell guns, don't they sustain a beam?
Maybe.
I keep thinking hell guns sustain their beams. And
I always, honestly, I know it's never been like specifically stated, but I've always thought like the laser guns that have like a 3-round burst or something is just the seconds that the beam lasts until you have to like let off the trigger to give the.
Yeah, that could be a logical way of thinking of it.
Yeah, it's like this is the longest you can sustain the beam until it needs like just a second to cool off or vent air or whatever. Shenanigans.
Yeah, that could work.
That's how I've always thought of it.
Mm.
I've always seen it as more of just like the rapid pulse. Like you've seen Hell's Reach, where they do laser guns in that. Is how I always envisioned them.
I haven't seen Hell's Reach.
Well, you should, Deadlight. That's no excuse.
Yeah.
Movie night. I think it's a movie.
It's mouth.
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 Yeah, it's Mouth Night, thank you very much. Kiss.
Well, yeah, so it's rapid fire on the last weapon is either pulse fire or second of sustained fire. But it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, the effect is the same.
Mm.
mechanically, no, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, Zetar is going to stand up seeing that there's nothing else to talk about. Like, hope you enjoy the food. It's not my finest, but it is still one of the best I've made.
It is
Came
enjoyable.
from my home space alt.
Okay. I'm just going to post that there, because I thought that was really, really funny.
Yeah.
Armor.
Sure.
What is my OC original content? Should
No,
be on
it's a
my
typo.
PC?
I
I think it's supposed to be
Yeah,
PC.
it's a typo.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay. What the fuck?
On my
It-
operating
it's-
computer.
On my
Oh,
original
oh.
character.
my
What is
original
PC?
character.
Why don't
My
you-
original character is a shitty PC.
Yeah,
Shit
But-
happens. Well,
but why change the acronym like that? Ugh.
I mean,
Well,
I was
oh,
right next to P.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's me
Whoa.
the engineering gold standard of can you play Doom on it? Like, I can do it on my microwave, guys!
Yeah.
To be fair, you can play Mario on a calculator or some stupid shit like that.
You can
so-
play Doom on a calculator.
Actually.
Eh.
Really?
Yeah,
I used to
Texas
have-
Instruments calculator. So still,
They actually made a really good version of Doom on VR.
Doom 2016 or Doom old.
No,
stuff?
no, Doom 2016.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, the VR, but there's also Brutal Doom, which
Brutal
was
Doom's cool.
Brutal Doom is basically Doom 1 and 2, but actually modern controls and stuff. So it's really fun. Highly recommend.
So,
How did we get onto this?
because of armor. Because I decided to distract you all because I didn't know what to do.
Quick, a meme.
Quick, meme! That's kind of how like all the Vergas just works in general anyway.
Anyway.
Which now?
Vergas.
Yeah.
Just off topic, it's just like suddenly a meme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wasn't there a roleplay with giant chickens or some shit at one point?
God,
No, it was giant pigeons, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Thank you very much.
do I want to know?
Somebody
No.
started posting giant
Probably
pigeon things, and like people were doing ridiculous things, like I attack it with my bayonet, and it's just like it eats your arm. It's like, oh
So it just turned into Dwarf Fortress or Wormworld suddenly.
no! Yeah.
Pigeon World.
Pigeon World, there you go.
What?
Pigeon World. Or Pigeon
No, no,
Fortress. I don't care.
Pigeon Fortress.
No. I was looking in Virgos Crusade. I did the mistake of looking in Virgos Crusade off topic, and I just saw this. Dog left in hot car seat, saves baby left in same hot car. Police arrive and shoot them. It's like, what?
Can't take risks. They had guns.
Gotta love the lack of context.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They were obviously brandishing weapons. Look at those faces. Those are faces of terrorists.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, is there anything else you want to do?
No.
There's anything left to do, really?
No. If you have nothing else to say, you will be, you're free to leave.
Hmm.
You are escorted back to the hangar bay. You do note that the Space Marine escorting you doesn't even make a sound when his boots hit the metal.
Mm-hmm.
I never got my answer actually. When I rolled my Forbidden Lord tech, was that an Imperial?
You're not sure. You suspect it's Xeno.
Okay.
Now, who had thought that?
Yeah, because I remember I was making comments about like how all their gear seems custom and non-standard patterns and possibly heretical in places.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are escorted back to the hangar. You will bid farewell. You fly back to your ship.
Indeed.
Do you wish to do anything on your ship?
I guess we talk with Eric's about what our next move is.
Mm.
And that would probably be where we'd end the session, or that'd be all we could do.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's that's about 2 hours. I did say it was going to be a short session this week.
Mm. I would suggest
now's the
that we visit Iris Pleasure World Iris next time.
Is it? Do you want to go for Eris or do you want to go to Tranquility?
I suggest we go to Iris.
Go for Eris.
Was Tranquility the one that she said the void chip modifications could take place?
No. That's
No.
14 France.
Fortune.
That was a different station.
So Tranquility is the AdMech / navigate astropath navigating
Yeah.
psycho stuff. That is above the world of Fragmentum. Tranquility is a major research station for the. It's like the major research station for the entire system. Iris is a pleasure world, so it's a completely
From
different kettle of
which
fish.
people of the unknown hand are abducting people.
And there's the heist. So the idea is that each of these places have two things that we can do.
Exactly.
One being
Yes.
get resources, and the other accomplishing a mission. So it's either we're going after kidnap victims or do an infiltration mission. And then Deadlight, can you possibly update the Tranquility?
Yeah, sure. I can update it. So I need to.
Because what was the? I know they said there was treasure. Is it on planet near the station? Was that what they
so
said?
yeah. Okay, so Tranquility Station is a massive void station above the planet of Fragmentum.
Okay.
Fragmentum is a planet which suffers from warp storms.
Yeah.
However, it appears to be a forge world of human origin.
Actually, like colonized? Like, are there actually people living on it? Is there an atmosphere?
No.
Oh, okay. So it is completely.
Let me explain. There is an atmosphere, but people don't live long there. So it's not colonized, but there's this research station above it, which sends raiding teams down.
Okay, gotcha.
And they probably tried to colonize it before, but war storms happen frequently.
okay.
Okay.
I will read the description of Fragmentum. Fragmentum remains an uncolonized by the Imperium due to its incredibly dangerous climate. Despite the remnants of pre-imperial human settlements have been discovered across the surface, and as a result, the Mechanicus has established a research station in high orbits above the planets. They are able to create a permanent outpost on the ground due to the frequent occurrence of massive and extremely hostile storms that exhibit warp-related properties such as rapid mutation, loss of sanity, death, and redacted. Expeditions that survive the corrosive acid rain, razor-sharp hail, and raging rings upwards of 200 km per hour found valuable archaeotech relics, the nature of which has led some to speculate that an artifact hidden somewhere on the planet could be responsible for the weather's unusual characterization. In addition, some within the Mechanicus consider it plausible that a fabled STC fragment may be present. That is Fragmentum. The station above is called Tranquility Station, which is...
Wait, is that the one I did the rewrite for?
Yes.
You did the
Cool.
you did the rewrite and you did the description of it. The
Cool.
fun, like, poetic one. I was just summarizing, doing the other one. Tranquility Station, hanging high above the planet Fragmentum, delicately balanced above the largest and oldest storm on the planet, is Tranquility Station. A great web of gunmetal grey spires and long tins extend outwards, uncounted scores of small craft maneuvering around them. The station is built as a single, tall and narrow central structure with a thin concrete...
With thin concentric rings.
Oh, some concentric rings making up the majority of the superstructure and radiating most out the most towards the middle. Large facilities exist around the central ring to dock explorer ships and send out mining probes to the nearby moon. The top and bottom of the largest rings are sealed environments and are used to grow food and produce oxygen for the station. This is where there is a large presence on Tranquility Station of AdMech and not navigators. What's the fucking term?
Navis nobility.
Navis nobility, thank you. That are both, yeah. And the lead you have there is that there is the Unseen Hand is doing an infiltration mission there, as well as.
Trying to.
Mm-hmm. It is also a very likely candidate to get some rare and unusual technologies because of Fragment.
Yeah. Basically, if you find your Psy Cannon anywhere, it's there.
Yeah, say we go there.
Sounds more fun. One sounds more realistic for what Ren would want to do.
I say we go for the fun one, with the warp storms and the fun.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that sentiment. I think we go there.
So you guys want to go to Tranquility? Cool. That's fine.
Okay.
Tranquility Station slash.
Random.
Yeah, Tranquility is probably where you're going to go. If you go to Fragmentum, something might have gone horribly wrong.
Say we'd have to go to Tranquility first, and then maybe leap off from Tranquility to go down to Fragmentum after, or at some point.
Yep. They generally send Skitarii down there because, like, specially trained and modified Skitarii. But yeah, cool. Okay, that's good. That gives me an idea of what I can prep for next session.
Yeah. I'm gonna start modifying clothes so that we don't stick out like a sore thumb as much. I mean, I'm going to anyways, but everybody else might as well look like they can fit in a bit more.
What's this subtlety? In every group?
Yeah.
We don't have subtlety, Sam. We just don't. We just can't be dumb.
We have we have one player on our Saturday game who's playing an Arbite and doesn't realize that he's not an Arbite sometimes anymore. He's Inquisition.
But
So you can imagine how that goes.
So
I am the law. Bam.
exactly. Can I get a bonus for modifying clothing for taking a while?
Sure.
I just want to do this because it's what my character would do.
Plus,
I'm gonna fake that because I've got fake to use and it's in the session. And it only gets worse.
You destroy some clothes instead.
Yeah.
Look, it's fine. This is
No one has
the
clothes anymore.
large ship of uselessness. I'll just make even more stuff useless on this ship. Apparently,
it just takes even longer.
I'm not gonna have it done by the time we get there, guys.
I mean, weeks to do it. So unless you're like utterly rubbish.
No, they have to be perfect. So I just keep throwing clothes out with that roll. It's like, no, not good enough. Fuck,
Unless
not
you're-
good enough.
They let you say it unless you're utterly rubbish. He did roll a 99.
And he didn't roll 100.
Oh, okay.
That's all that matters.
I think I'm gonna try to wreck a chest plate here. Normally it is very rare, so that's minus 30. Any modifiers for on the ship?
I think we care with chest plate.
Yeah, okay, I actually need to know what you're trying to requisition before I can say any modifiers.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I meant to. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said a carapace chest plate. Let me get to the specs. I think it's rare, so normally minus 20.
Now, I'm going to ask you a really serious question. Where are you expecting to find it?
Our Inquisition ship? Question mark. I thought from the armor, perhaps that may or may not exist on the ship. As
Doesn't
we're
exist
going.
on the ship.
Scott,
not
this is
exist on
a
the ship.
ship we got from Julian. This thing is completely useless in almost every respect.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn it! I should have wrecked it on the Space Marine ship.
Wait, what are you after?
The Space Marine ship wouldn't have had human armor.
Yeah.
You don't
Still,
know that.
quick question.
No.
Wait, what are you after?
Going for a
Carapace.
carapace chest plate.
I
No,
will
I'm
also
probably
say,
happy with it.
yeah, I will also say that what you wear and what you walk around with will affect your how noticeable you are. If you're walking around with heavy weapons and full armor, people are going to start asking questions.
Yeah, that's why I asked if it was okay if we went with guns to the
Yeah,
discussion thing.
most of the Imperium will be fine with you carrying sidearms, maybe rifles in the carry cases on your back.
Flower boxes. Shotguns and
Flower.
flower boxes. Works every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
The flower
No,
box
it's tra-
is the
it-
shotgun.
It's underneath the coat, dear.
Oh yeah, that too.
Or you could just have the suitcase gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, as long as you're not being obvious with weapons, people are fine. Melee weapons, most people are fine with as well, as long as you're not running around like a muppet with them.
Yeah.
It's not best quality power sword type thing.
I mean, that's fine on a more noble person
Yeah.
if you've got it on your hip, but if you're waving it around like a muppet,
Would a flak cloak or be as overly questionable?
no. Flak armor would be fine. Anything higher than that probably would.
Yeah.
Flak of any kind is insanely common. Like regular people on the street wear flak cloaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what I would like to request from our armory. And possibly a shield, if that is.
Armory.
Flak is fine. What sort of shield? Because we've done a lot of shields.
If I can have it, naval shield, the portable cover one, but that is probably too large for
Where we're going.
to be normal. So a common shield.
Common shield is fine.
Hmm?
I'll make my requisitions at some other point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If people want to ask what they want to requisition, I can say yes, no.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
What about a
never had-
cameline cloak?
That's
that too
implying
rare?
that this. No, that's not too rare. That's not flashy enough. They have a chameleon cloak, which is just covered in diamonds, so it actually doesn't hide you at all.
Yeah, when you're invisible,
Unless you're
you're
a
actually
No, I
glittering.
can at least stealth better.
No, you can't because you're covered in diamonds.
Yeah, so you glitter.
What?
You can only stealth from diamond. You can only stealth if the entire surface of the planet is covered in diamonds.
Well, he can probably hide pretty well on the ship
Yes.
if it's gilded. Or...
I mean, hey, any more fabulous than you'd have little kanji characters floating around you every time you said or did something.
I mean, there are small like cherubs that do that.
God, I hate this ship.
Yeah,
Yep, it's meant to be as not just as possible.
What do you think? Why I'm mostly staying in the Arboretum?
Scaring
This
all
is
the
why I
goblins.
sleep in my ship.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that as well.
Contacts.
Contacts?
Yeah, the photo contacts. The dark, basically.
Okay.
It's normally scarce.
Yeah.
Should I go for the wreck on it?
No. What I suggest is you ask me between the sessions, so I can actually sit down and look at them, as opposed to trying to do it off the top of my head.
Are you telling me you can't just see in the dark?
I can. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
kill filthy humans.
Dark.
No, what I'm saying as a GM is that I can't memorize everything, and I don't want to open the book because I haven't
I
done
was
so.
talking to the other guy, Deadline.
No,
I can
don't
pose.
care. But yeah,
Look, it's fine. I'll be your eyes in the darkness.
I don't like that.
I
No,
know what I.
it's-
Okay,
I mean, whoops, I meant to do the Dead Space thing. That's fine. Yeah, I'll just ask you between sessions.
yeah, I'm just saying it. Like, I know what these items are, but I need to like look at the book and see their rarity and etc. If it's appropriate for the ship to have. Like, actually wake up, which I don't want to do.
Which you haven't yet.
But yeah, okay, cool. I'm not going to award XP because you didn't really do that much. I spent like a lot of time like info dumping on you.
That's fine.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this session.
Mm-hmm.
Zango, let's go Spar.
You what?
Let's go fight. In the middle of the ship, let's just go fight. Not enough action this session.
Well, I couldn't catch you if I tried.
I can melee. I melee.
Well,
I have a 35 in weapon skill. Anyways, yeah. Joking aside.
yeah.
What is it? What is this gift here?
What is this gift? What are you doing?
Confusing me
That's-
greatly.
That's what the 99 was. I accidentally made the wrong outfit.
What? I have.
Look, if our president looked
Wait.
that, if our
I like a
president
Pepper
looked
the
that
Frog.
decent, then we wouldn't have everything negative with him. We'd at least have that, whatever that is.
I mean, he has a Pepe the Frog avatar that summons with him.
Yeah, of course. Also, I didn't actually show this one off.
It
The
probably
Firebolt
is.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall see you next week. Bye.
Bye bye.